Welcome to another episode of ERP Industry Insights, the show where we decode how enterprise systems drive transformation in complex industries. Today, we are focusing on one of the most persistent challenges in the construction industry, and that is project overruns. So, whether it's cost escalation, schedule slippages, or scope creep, overruns basically erode profitability and trust. But what if construction leaders could anticipate risks weeks in advance instead of discovering them during audits or after milestone delays? That's where Odoo ERP Analytics comes in as a proactive intelligence layer that doesn't just report numbers but actually predicts project deviations. Construction projects are inherently multi-variable ecosystems with BOQ accuracy, procurement cycles, subcontractor performance, manpower productivity, and regulatory compliance all interlinked. According to McKinsey, large construction projects typically take 20% longer to finish and cost up to around 80% more than budgeted. The primary cause isn't poor planning, it's the lack of real-time integrated visibility. Legacy systems and manual reportings create data silos. Finance teams track capex and opex separately. Project teams maintain MS Project or Primavera schedules. Procurement manages vendor POs in spreadsheets, and site engineers use WhatsApp and Excel to report progress. Now, this fragmentation leads to lagging indicators. By the time leadership sees the overrun, the damage is already irreversible. Construction overruns are typically triggered by a number of core problems. To mention, some of these are BOQ variations, wherein deviations between estimated quantities and actual consumption cannot be calculated, procurement lead time risks. This includes basically the delays in vendor supply chain cascading into project slippage. Then we have subcontractor non-compliance. It includes missed milestones, underbilling, or resource shortfalls. Then we have the cash flow bottlenecks, wherein we have the negative working capital that is forcing work stoppages. And lastly, we have the change orders and scope creep. Well, it includes the uncontrolled design modifications that are inflating the costs. Now, the absence of predictive early warning systems mean leadership is reactive, not preventive. Now here Odoo ERP Analytics addresses these challenges by embedding predictive intelligence directly into the construction workflow. So let's see how it works. Basically, we have the earned value management or the EVM dashboards that allow you to track planned value, earned value, and actual costs. It generates cost performance index and schedule performance index to instantly detect cost schedule variances. Variance analysis and drill down reporting is there. It allows you to compare BOQ versus the actuals at work breakdown structure level. You also get the highlights for the cost drivers like material wastage, idle machinery hours, or unbilled subcontractor work. You also get predictive forecasting models. Well, it uses historical project baselines to run estimate at completion and estimate to complete calculation. Apart from that, it also provides AI-backed forecasts for budget consumption trends and milestone slippages. You also have the risk heat maps and threshold alerts. Well, they are configurable key performance indicators like cash burn rate or subcontractor delay index that allow you to trigger risk alerts. Apart from that, the risks are color coded into heat maps for PMOs and the CFOs to prioritize interventions. You also get cash flow simulation and liquidity tracking. So the project inflows and the outflows against the committed POs and the invoices can be tracked. It also prevents negative working capital scenarios and ensures fund availability for the procurement cycles. And lastly, you have the integration with Primavera or the MS project, which allows you to import scheduling data into ERP Analytics to align cost control with project timelines. Well, in short, Odoo ERP Analytics is not just a reporting tool, it's basically a decision support engine for the construction leaders. Now let's take a real scenario from a tier 2 construction firm managing multi-site residential projects. Well, before ERP, projects were overshooting timelines by 12 to 15%. Subcontractor billing was reconciled manually, creating disputes. Cash flow gaps delayed vendor payments by up to 30 days. But after the inclusion of the Odoo ERP Analytics, now they have EVM dashboards flagged that help in the cost overrun trends by the second month of execution. They have variance analysis revealed material wastage as the top cost driver. They have predictive cash flow forecasting that has allowed the CFOs to secure bridge financing in advance, preventing site delays. And the result? Well, the overruns have marginally reduced to under 5% across projects, and the margin leaks have been controlled systematically. And lastly, construction will always carry uncertainty, but with ERP powered analytics, uncertainty no longer equals blind spots. Odoo ERP Analytics brings real-time cost control, predictive forecasting, and proactive risk management, the three pillars for eliminating overruns. Thank you for joining this episode of ERP Industry Insights. If you found today's session insightful, do subscribe and share, and we'll continue exploring how ERP is redefining industries from the ground up. And until next time, it's adios from my end.